Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor for those of you who have never been here before. In today's video we are going to be talking about ways that you can make teens in The Sims 4 feel more unique. But before we jump into that, I would just ask if you enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So teens in The Sims are boring. They're boring. They are so uninteresting and so just the same as young adults and adults in the game, and it's always really bothered me. They're not even like a different height than other age groups. They're the exact same height. They're just a little bit like skinnier, and it really bothers me. It's always really bothered me, and I just wish that they felt more unique and more interesting. I usually end up playing with a family. Like I have a single sim, they get married, they have a baby. I play with them when they're like a baby, a toddler, a child. They become a teen. I get bored of the family. I'm like, ugh, it's just starting all over with another sim, and I'm just like, okay, what kind of ways could you make teens more interesting? So I've been playing a little bit off camera lately, and I've had a family with teens, and I'm like, okay, what can I do to make me actually want to play with these Sims? So I've come up with a whole list of things that you can do to make your teens more interesting, and I really hope that these are helpful to you. If you already do some of these things, let me know in the comments. If you do other things that make your teens feel more interesting, also let me know in the comments, because I'm sure other people would love to see it. So the first thing that I used to never do is ignore aspirations and skill building, which sounds counterintuitive in a way. Like you would kind of want to have your teens start, working towards their careers and towards their lives while they're teenagers. But if I want a sim who's going to be, let's say, a famous artist, I might not get them to start practicing painting until they're like a young adult, because I feel like when you're a teen, you're kind of working through a bunch of stuff. So maybe you do a little bit of video gaming, maybe you do a little bit of woodworking. You're trying to figure out what you like, but if you're focused so heavily on what they're actually going to do with their life and all the things they're going to accomplish, you're going to end up getting so bored with that sim and get bored with them really quick. Especially if you're playing with them for a long period of time. If you plan on playing throughout their entire life, you're going to end up being like, oh, I did way too much with this teen while they were a teenager, and now that they're an adult, they've accomplished all their goals, and it's like boring. So you can definitely avoid aspirations. You can avoid any kind of skill building that's working towards the aspiration that they have for their life, and it can just make them feel more like they're less accomplished and just more interesting in a weird way. Like you'd think that you'd want to work towards that stuff, but it's not really that necessary, and it just makes them feel like they're young, like they're getting their life together, like they're figuring it out, and it gives them a lot more time to be able to focus on things like friends or a job. The next thing that makes teens feel more like teens is to actually force them to do chores. If you have The Sims 4 Seasons, you can make them rake leaves in the fall, you can make them shovel snow in the winter, you can make them be the ones that take out the trash, you can make them clean when there's like a puddle on the floor, you can make them cook dinner. There's all sorts of different chores you can do that make it a little bit more interesting and make your Sims feel more real, because it's like, okay, they have to do these things while they're doing their, like, in between their homework and in between going to school and in between having friends, and then it makes their lives a little bit more chaotic without it being like, oh, they're too busy because they're skill building or because they have a job or because they have this thing that they're doing. It's just like regular teenage things. Plus it takes a little bit of the pressure off of your Sims' parents and having to clean up that way. And honestly, just watching a teen with a vacuum is funny to me. I don't know why, I'm a little bit of a weirdo. The next thing I love to do for teens is to actually decorate their bedrooms as if they're teenagers. So a lot of the time if I just start out with a teen in my family, I'll end up decorating their room as if they were like a young adult who like has their life together, knows what they want. And I feel like that's a little bit too grown up. It makes them feel too grown up. So what I like to do is like kind of think about who they were as children, or if I played with them through children, have their child bedroom, and then just slowly as they go through their teenage years change things. So if they have a bed that has like a pretty childish looking blanket on it, I might switch out the bed but then like keep their funny patterned wallpaper and like their favorite giraffe, the big giraffe, you know what I'm talking about? That guy's cute. And like maybe keep that in the corner, because I know even to this day, I still have teddy bears that I love. Like literally, they're right there, love them. So like teenagers are pretty, like they're going to play with some, maybe not play with them, but they're still going to have their stuffed animals and still have some of those like more childish things from when they were younger. And I feel like that just makes them feel more like they're teens. You can also add some like fairy lights, maybe some pictures on the wall of them with their friends, and just make it feel like this is a teenager's bedroom, not like a perfectly manicured, perfectly organized bedroom for a young adult. You can also add clutter, like there's like dirty laundry you can add to the floor to make it feel more real, and just like let them be messy. It just makes them feel more unique and more interesting in a weird way, just by having a more interesting bedroom. And you wouldn't think that a bedroom has that much impact on your gameplay, but honestly, I did this and it definitely does. The next thing on this list is to actually allow them to be friends with other teens. Now, there aren't a ton of teenagers in The Sims 4, so one thing you can do is you can add the teen hangout lot trait. I'm not entirely sure what pack that came out with, so if you don't have that, I'm sorry. It might have been with a pack. I don't know if it's a base game thing. I don't know. But there is a teen hangout lot trait, which will allow more teens to be around your home and like in the neighborhood, so that you have more teens for your Sims to hang out with and to become friends with. Another great option for making friends as a teenager is to just switch their school thing. When they're at school, you can click on the one thing and make friends, so that they can find people at school who are their age, and you'll be able to meet people that way, and they'll be just randomized Sims, and then you can just have them over, get to know them, and actually have friends, and actually hang out with these friends. Get your Sim to just go off into the world, go anywhere, go bowling, go to the park, any place that you can go with your teenage Sims. Honestly, a bowling night with friends, if you do have the Sims 4 bowling night, is a great option, and it's really fun. And then it just feels very much like you could have like a little group date. Oh my goodness, that's adorable. Have like a bunch of Sims and like one that your Sim kind of has a crush on, and then like go bowling and talk to them a lot while you're bowling, and then like fall in love. Adorable. You should also make sure that they at least have a crush on somebody, because it just makes them feel so real and adorable. Like, just pick a Sim and be like, you are cute. Maybe date them. Maybe have your first kiss as a teenager. I do find it weird because a lot of the time when I play, I completely avoid having my teens in relationships. And it's like, okay, well, I guess your first kiss is going to be when you're a young adult. It's kind of boring. It's just boring. I just want to have like cute moments with my kids and my teens. So having your teens actually have teen friends, flirt with some of those teen friends, get to know them, have a little fun with them, and it just makes you feel more connected to your Sims, because you're gonna actually feel like they are real and feel like they have these relationships that you can grow when they're young adults. And then when you actually like have a wedding and invite people you've been friends with in The Sims 4, since you were a teenager, it just feels more special than if you were to like just invite the goths that you met last week to your wedding. It just feels special when you actually have friends and you have relationships in The Sims. The next thing you can do is to get a part-time job. I know that a lot of teenagers have part-time jobs. I worked at Tim Hortons, the wonderful Canadian coffee chain, for 6 years of my life, and I started when I was 16. So it was definitely my part-time job in high school when I was a teenager, and I hated most of it, but it's fine. But a lot of teenagers have jobs, and it's a nice way for your teen to like have a little bit of money, even though it does go into the household funds, but you can feel like they're actually like earning their ability to like go bowling, or go out and hang out with their friends. If you have dine out and you go to a restaurant with your friends, your teen can actually like pay from money that they earned, and it just feels a little bit more special because they're not just like using their parents' money, even though it's all just in one family household money plot, whatever. But being able to have them earn money is really fun. Plus it adds a little bit more stress to like getting your homework done and getting your chores done and spending time with your friends, because there's less time. And having them have like a retail job or a babysitting job just feels right for a teenager. The next thing on this list is to not always try so hard with their homework and try so hard in school. If you have them spending every single day working hard at school and always doing their homework, you're just going to feel a little bit burnt out and bored and not feel like they've developed any sort of personality, because by the time your teens get home from school and they like bathe and they eat dinner and they do their homework, there's no time left. And honestly, the grades that your teens get don't really affect anything except maybe getting into university and getting scholarships. So it's like, is it really that important for your Sims to have an A all the time? Not really. They're not going to get taken away if they have bad grades. It's fine. It's fine. It's not like back in the old Sims days when your Sims would get sent to military school if they didn't go to school and they were doing terribly, and then you'd never see them again. Those were the good old days, I'm telling you. But you can definitely have your Sims have some times where like maybe they do their homework 3 days in a row, and then maybe they don't do their homework for a couple days and they just like go off with their friends and have a good time. It's definitely really interesting to have it be different and to not just do really well in school all the time. I know for me, I always make my Sims do all of their homework, and then I feel really guilty that they don't get to ever have any fun. So it's up to you. The next thing you can do if you have The Sims 4 Seasons is get your teens to join Scouts. This after-school activity sometimes feels more like it's geared towards kids, but the teens have quite a few things that they can do with Scouts, and it ends up getting you to try out just a whole bunch of different things. They'd get into like art, they'd get into like fishing, they can get into so many different things, and they can like give back to their community in so many different ways, and it just makes you test out a bunch of different things with your teens, and maybe if you're trying to iron out their personality and what their future might be, it could be really helpful for you. And Scouts is just really fun because you can have them be in a cute little outfit every weekend when they go to their scout meeting, and they just look so adorable, and it brings me a lot of joy. And then you can add that scouting board to their bedroom, which will make it feel less like a mature adult bedroom and more like a kid-teen bedroom, and I think that's really fun. The next thing you could do if you have The Sims 4 get together is to start a teen-focused club. You can just add a bunch of teens. You could have it be just teenagers in this club and add anybody that you've met and be able to just hang out with them. You would start a club gathering and then just have everybody come over to your house or go over to somebody else's house. You can make like homework one of the things that you do, so like all the teens just do homework together, and then you get club points that way and can earn some cool perks. You can have them like enjoy bowling if you have bowling night, enjoy going out to restaurants if you have dine out, or just like flirt with each other. Like that's honestly an option. Or just have fun and be friendly and just hang out and be friends. It's a good way to get everybody to one location without having to individually invite people over. And I feel like clubs are really underutilized in the game, even for people that do have the Sims 4 Get to Work. I feel like not enough of us use clubs when they can be really, really useful, especially for things like teens or kids to have friends that are easy to invite over. And the final thing on my list, if you have the Sims 4 Discover University and you're planning to send your kid to university, is to definitely focus some of your time on scholarships and like working towards scholarships. But I would say like just the last few days of your Sims life, don't focus the whole time on scholarships, because I feel like a teenager from like 14 to 16 might not care at all about their future and like what they're doing and scholarships, but then like 17, you got to start worrying about it. 18, you really got to start worrying about it. And it's like, yeah, got to get some scholarships. I need some money for school, especially if your Sims don't have a ton of money and can't actually afford school, and your Sims might have to take out student loans. It'd be a lot nicer if you could get some scholarships. So, work on some of that stuff, and you can kind of make it feel like they're really stressed, and you can have it like, oh, maybe they need to write a scholarship essay, and just have them like write something, like hang out on the computer for a day and make it just in your head, because that's not actually a thing. You don't actually have to apply in that way in the Sims 4 Discover University, but I think it's fun to just act like that's something they're doing, and like they're definitely dealing with like the crunch of trying to get scholarships and trying to make sure they can pay for school. But yeah, those are some of my ideas of how you can make teens feel more unique in The Sims 4. If you have any other ideas that weren't mentioned in this video, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. I love listening to what you guys have to say, because some of you have some really cool ideas, and I just love that. But yeah, teens just don't feel right in The Sims 4. I really hope that we get a teen-focused pack like Generations, or even just like a teen pack, like just teen stuff, just a whole pack of just teen stuff. I would take a game pack just for teens. Please, at EA, give me something. I need it. Please. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.